Welcome back to Centerton Archery. Today's video is going to be a review on the UltraView UV3XL. So this is the 41mm housing I have. Now I already have set this up, but I thought I'd go ahead and just kind of do an overview on it and some of my opinions. Okay, so let's go over some of the specs first before I get into my overall opinion and setup of this. So starting off, this is a 41mm diameter scope housing. It accepts a 41mm lens of your choosing. I right here have a 4X in it with some blue fiber. So the overall weight of this comes in at 9.5 ounces and is waterproof, made out of aircraft grade aluminum, 100% ambidextrous, and has over 6 hours of battery life in its sight light. So inside the box right here, go ahead and open this up. Get a lot of stuff. I already have opened and seen all this because I set it up. 4 inches of fiber in 0.19, 0.19. You have blue, you have red, and you have green. I've already taken some of the blue to put in there. You have your extra light batteries. So you can replace them. Like I said, these can last for like a full straight 6 hours on the brightness. So it's not really too much an issue. Like you won't need to replace these the second day of shooting or something. But it's really nice that they come with these. Also very easy to find. Dollar General, on their site, just pretty much anywhere. We've got more fiber. This is 20 inches. So this is a lot more. I think this is mainly for the hunter sights if you need to replace the fiber. Because obviously you're going to be shooting a drilled lens with this. Because I bought the target kit. Now if you bought the hunting kit, it should actually come with a cartridge already installed with a pin. But because I didn't, it's obviously not going to come with the pin. And so I actually have a drilled lens in here. This is from UltraView. You don't have to have an UltraView lens, but they're not that expensive. They're retail for $99 on their site. So I think honestly that's a good deal for what you're obviously getting because it's a very high quality lens. Pre-drilled for 0.19 fiber. So overall I like that. So obviously you have your extra 20 inches of green fiber. Same green fiber as this, just longer. You have your dot kit. I was impressed with this. I've already actually kind of messed around with some of the dots, but I ended up shooting that fiber. But you've got a lot of dots here. You've got 2 sets, same size, 2 sets of each color, as well as some open circles, crosshairs, and some triangles. Kind of curious. I've never seen someone shoot a triangle, so I'm kind of curious on what that's like. But comes with that. They're also UV reactant, so the sight light inside of this will actually light up these as well. So, and you obviously don't have to shoot them with the light. They're still, in my opinion, plenty bright without it. And finally, you've got some spare parts, bubble level. I believe there's a screw for the bubble level. That is a little foam, that is a little rubber insert that actually goes in here to make sure this stays snug. So even though you have that set screw, there's actually a little piece of rubber on the inside of this that really helps them stay snug. So that's obviously what that is. Now it comes with 2 levels. It comes with the one already inside of it and then a spare one, which is nice. And that's pretty much it for what comes in the box. I think that's personally a lot of stuff. I personally definitely think it comes with a lot for what you pay for. So I bought this off of UltraView's official site. website for 200 without the lens, but I ended up ordering a lens because I bought it separately, which was another 99, so you basically pay 300 for it. And this is the Target kit. I think that's a good deal because when you really look at it, you're gonna save about $50 if you buy with the lens, because it's actually 350, 349 on Lancaster and other sites. So on UltraView's exclusive website, it's basically a bit cheaper there. I don't know how long that sale is going to last. It's not really a defined sale, but definitely if you're really interested in this, go ahead and pick it up now. Because man, that's just really nice. I'm really impressed with the lens on this. Very clear. I didn't get the doublet or anything. I just got the base lens, and it's really, really nice. Really loving that drilled fiber. Even though I already have set this up, I'm gonna kind of redo it and just show you how to set this up. So starting off, you will need some Allen keys. They don't come with it, but you should already have some with you. Starting off, you're gonna want to loosen these set screws. What I actually really like is they actually can't back out, so you can't actually take them out all the way, which is great because I feel like with how small these are, I would probably lose them if you could back them out all the way. So I'm going to just back out both sides, and you're going to want to kind of just pull these apart. These are actually really pressure fitted in, so it will require a bit of force. So that's that one. Man. This, like I said, really fits in. Ah, there we go. Okay, I got it. And there we go. Okay, so you now have your UltraView scope fully disassembled. So this is just the main part. And actually, to make it left-handed, what you actually do is you're going to move the bubble level to this side and actually put the light kit in that way, and then put the lens in that way. And then now you have a left-handed one, which I thought was really interesting because a lot of times I'll show you guys my old scope right here. To do this one, you actually have to flip it over, just move that down, and then take that level out. And if you have a pin, you would have to turn the level around. So instead of like flipping it upside down, it's actually really interesting to me how they just, because it's a whole cartridge system, how they just have you basically install it backwards. So to mount your scope rod, it's actually this little screw. It comes with the sight, so it comes with the scope. I'm sorry. So it'll be in your little spare parts bag. And what you would just do is, if you have a long enough screw, you can actually drop it through there. I don't. So you just want to fit it down in there and then just make sure it's tight. So for the light kit, not really much you can do there. That is where the batteries are. So you can actually, it says eject. You can push that forward and then do that. I don't feel like doing it because I don't need to replace the batteries. But now for the lens kit, this is a big one. How to install your fiber. So like I said, I bought the UltraView one, so it's going to come drilled for 0.19 fiber, which is really nice. So I can just use any of this fiber that I want, and it'll work. Now, obviously, if you don't have a lens like this one isn't drilled, you can still use a dot kit and be perfectly fine. But if you want to be able to use fiber like I am, you will have to get a drilled lens if you don't already have a 41 millimeter or 1.750. So starting off, what I'm actually going to do right here, there's like a little notch where I can get out this O-ring. Once I have that O-ring out, I can actually just Gently tap that, and out comes my lens. So once I have my lens out, I can adjust the fiber in it to whatever color I want if I wanted to change it. And then once you do that, you're just going to take a lighter and hold it close. You don't want to actually touch the flame to it, but hold it close enough and it should bubble out like this. And then that will keep it from pulling back out of the lens. And I kind of like to keep it kind of dead middle. Mine's a little short because I kind of mess it up or push it out a bit forward to catch that light a bit better. But basically, once you have that, you should just be able to drop that lens in there. Put your O-ring back in. If you do have the doublet lens, that lens will actually be a bit thicker than the base one, but it will still fit inside with that O-ring in there. So then there's only one way you can actually put this. You can't, because it's not round, it's only one way. Just push that in, and you go. And that's really easy. That's one of the biggest benefits about this sight or scope, is that you can interchange it. So if you have, let's say for indoor, and then you don't want to actually tighten this down a ton, just like a little bit. It's really snug. But if you, for example, shoot indoor maybe, and you shoot a 6x for that, but in 3D you shoot a 4x, you could have two different cartridges. These are available for $34, and I believe the ones that come with a pin are actually a bit more expensive, maybe like $40, but you can buy them on their site. And you can just swap them in and out. So you can have a ton of different setups with only having to buy one scope, which is really nice. I'll quickly also show you. So this is the no light cartridge. So that cutout is for the level. So you want to make sure that is at the bottom. And all you do is push it in, and then you can tighten it down if you want. I'm not gonna, because I'm gonna switch it back to the light, but that's without the light cartridge in there. Now obviously, because I'm shooting a blue drilled in lens, you will not be able to see this at all. But if you're shooting a dot, or if you're shooting a pin and you're not allowed to have a light on it, whether it's for hunting or NFAA, I believe doesn't allow lights, field archery, that kind of stuff, you can just shoot this without the light cartridge. So I appreciate them thinking of that and already giving you one, because obviously you're not going to be able to always shoot with a light, but I can. So snap that in place. Then you're going to want to take your Allen key, and again, you do not want to over tighten this, especially this one, because this is just plastic. It's obviously strong plastic, but I strongly urge you not to tighten this down very well or very hard, because you can like crack or bend this plastic. It's already very friction fitted, and so as you could probably see, I had some trouble getting this side out. So it's already very friction fitted even when you have them fully backed out. So it's not super necessary to have them super duper tight, because you're not going to really experience any rattling. So now for the moment of truth, we're going to actually turn the light on. So as far as the buttons go, this is to turn the light on. And if you hold this for 4 seconds, you can toggle the bubble level light on and off. So we are going to press that, and that's all on, and the bubble level light's on. If I show you right here, you can actually see. So there's basically 4 small UV LEDs that shine on the pin, and one big one that shines on the bubble level. So that's that, and I believe, yeah, this is at max brightness, and that's pretty bright. And blue fiber is typically pretty, you need a light for, because it's actually a pretty dim fiber, so shooting that is super duper bright. Um, and you can obviously toggle it down. I believe that's the lowest it can go. It's pretty dim, gotta say. Um, but you can toggle it. So I actually really like that. That's pretty good. But then you can go even brighter than that. And then let me hold. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That takes the bubble level light off. So no, that's no longer bright. But you've got your pin still super duper bright. So, and then obviously just press that and it's all the way off. Now, it does have an automatic timer to go off. So after 4 minutes, it will turn off on its own. So if you do ever forget to turn this off, it's not going to stay on all the time and drain the battery. I believe Colby, the founder or owner of UltraView, actually said the reason they came up with 4 minutes because that was the longest time you could hold on a 3D animal, or maybe it was a target, maybe it was a paper target. But that was like the longest organization. It lets you hold for 4 minutes. ASA lets you hold for 2 minutes. Last year, I believe this year they have actually changed it down to a minute or a minute 30. But basically, they got it so it'll automatically turn off. You don't have to worry about turning it off. But it's really, really simple button press and it's turned off. So yeah, overall I really love the integrated level light, especially because when you think about it, it's pretty cheap. So if you were to buy this, it's like $300 for this, including the lens. And basically that's like they actually do sell this for $164 on their site, this the scope light itself. But I do think that's just kind of not really a price gouge thing, but something that I think they just raise the price because they'll come with this. Every scope that you buy, it'll come with this. So it's kind of like if you lose or break it, there's kind of that tax of buying a new one. But really high quality scope, can definitely tell the quality and craftsmanship of this. I mean, it just looks super cool. I mean, look at that. That looks super cool. I'd love to have this on my bow. And so the light for $99 isn't bad when you think about a lot of them. For example, this Excel, it doesn't have an integrated light on it at all, and you actually have to run a fiber through this hole right there and then thread a light in there. And when you look at lights on like Lancaster or something like that, they're gonna run between, I see, like $124 to like $200. And when you think about it, you also can't run a dot on this. I actually put a UV dot on this just to see on how well it would do without a sight light on it. And it runs really, really well. I really like it. But it's going to be pretty expensive to put a light on this, and it's not going to be incorporated into the scope. So you won't have the ability to shine like a light on the dot. It would only be for pin fiber configurations. So I do really like the fact that this is fully incorporated in there. It's really light, so you don't have this bulky, big old battery box with a bunch of wires on your sight. It's literally just all there. And honestly, in my opinion, like, I haven't tested out a ton of lights, but this is like really, really bright. So really props to them for incorporating it, making it pretty affordable. Obviously, when you think about price to how effective it is, I mean, obviously it's still pretty expensive and not everybody can afford it, but it's really, really nice. I do really like it. I think it's definitely worth the money, and so that this might be something that's on your next wish list for archery, because that's just amazing.